ends up dying. But he goes out with a bang because he shoots Loki with the cannon with the gun.
Yeah, and he has that one line before he goes, oh, that's what it does.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. Today we are doing Marvel Movie Monday, The Avengers. We finally made it to the 6th Marvel movie in the MCU, and one of the greatest films in the MCU, in my personal opinion. The Avengers was fantastic. Was this your first time watching?
This was my first time watching, and now we get to see how all these superheroes connect to the team in The Avengers.
So The Avengers is basically, as the title presents itself, it is Earth's mightiest heroes must come together and learn to fight as a team if they're going to stop the world from getting destroyed by the mischievous Loki with his army of aliens, basically, and enslaving all of humanity as well. So, what'd you think, man?
I thought it was really well done. I liked the intertwine of all the movies and all the characters and how they interacted for the first time meeting. And this is the first time you see Mark Ruffalo too as Bruce Banner and as the Hulk. So that was kind of interesting to see because we really didn't see anything because we watched The Incredible Hulk from 2008 with Edward Norton. So we're getting a new actor in Mark Ruffalo. So that was kind of interesting too.
And I think Mark Ruffalo is a fantastic choice to play Bruce Banner. I honestly was rewatching this movie. I was like, wow, he's actually really great as Bruce Banner. And I normally didn't see, as time goes on, I kind of fell out of that. But going back and watching his beginning in Avengers, I was like, he's actually a really great fit for the character. As well as we get just everybody did their part in this movie. I think that it was fantastic in bringing not just all of the main characters, but bringing even the side characters into this movie was fantastic. We had Coulson playing a huge role in this movie. We had introduction of Maria Hill, which was awesome. We had Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner. We had more of an actual base of him in this movie, as well as Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, and even Eric from Thor, Stellan Skarsgård. And I think that everybody coming together in this movie was just such a treat for fans. This was a huge unexpected combination. This is something we've hoped to see before this time in film in the 2000s. This is something I, as a comic book fan and a superhero lover, would dream of seeing on the big screen, and finally seeing it pay off in such a great, fantastic way. There's nothing wrong with this movie to me.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, even Tom Hiddleston when he as Loki.
Yeah, this is his probably best performance outside of the Loki show. I think that the Avengers, this is peak Tom Hiddleston, and I think that he's menacing and charismatic, and it's really great. And I love all of the comedy surrounding the seriousness within his character as well. Especially because he's Loki, he's the god of, tricksters and stuff. So, another thing is seeing Robert Downey Jr. finally come into the light of being a team player is very interesting. There are a lot of things in dialogue that I didn't pick up on originally because, going down the line of movies, you tend to forget some things, but going back and rewatching it and seeing just the little interactions, there is a scene between Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans as Captain America, where Chris Evans basically tells him, "You're not gonna, you're not the one to make the sacrifice play," and just calling him out, and if you know things, you know things, and Robert Downey Jr., at the end of the movie, he shows that he's willing to make the sacrifice play. He goes up with the nuke into space, and you don't think that he's going to come back down. So it's very, there's a lot going on things, but like I said, if you know, you know. Before we get further into this review, I just want to remind everybody, hit that like and subscribe button down below. Also follow us on Twitter and Instagram, or X as Twitter's now known. And if you want to support us even more, go to patreon.com/thecalvincamp. Really helps us out and makes the show get bigger and better, and hopefully we can deliver more and better content for you. So back into the episode. We just also have Chris Hemsworth as Thor. The interactions between him, Robert Downey Jr., and Steve Rogers, or Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. Am I using their real names or their actor names? These three are like the holy trinity. So of the Avengers, and I feel like their interactions were great, especially when Thor first shows up. They're kind of just like, who is this? And I thought it was interesting because Tony Stark, Iron Man, he goes from like more playfully like arrogant to like attack mode. Like he's like, I don't know what this is all about, but like I have a Steve Rogers is like, what's the plan? We need to make a plan. And he's like, I have a plan. Attack. Like, and he sounds so like serious when he says it. So I was just like, whoa, this is really crazy.
Yeah, this movie really starts off well. Like you get the whole thing, kind of like almost where we left off with Captain America. We're back in with Nick Fury and the Tesseract.
Yeah,
and how the Tesseract, what Stalin Skarsgård's Eric Selvig is like doing the research for the Tesseract.
Yeah.
They're doing all the things, and then all of a sudden you get Loki. Loki appears, and and he does his thing with his scepter. He kind of takes Jeremy Renner, which is Hawkeye's heart, and one of the other guys, and
Stellan.
he takes Stellan as well.
Yeah.
And they kind of like do this whole thing in the beginning. There's an action sequence, and Loki just takes off with them. And after that, we have Nick Fury trying to gather all the Avengers together. It's like, hey, this is a serious thing. We need to rally the troops, and that being, we need to rally the Avengers to save the world, because this is a huge
we need
threat.
to get these guys to work together so that the world can like survive. And I think that it's cool because the story really does kind of focus on Nick Fury pretty heavily. Like it is his job to make this happen. Otherwise, the other politics and world leaders will do more drastic measures, like, I don't know, send a nuke at Manhattan. Like that was that's ridiculous. Like especially when the fact that they go against the orders and just do it anyway. They could have literally destroyed an entire city. But I guess it ultimately paid off because they were able to nuke T'Chari's ship, and I guess that's the main control of all of their minds. So it kind of paid off. But anyway, I just think that this movie is really, really well done.
Yeah. I mean, even when we have those scenes where Loki's apparent, when they capture Loki and he's on the helicarrier, you get the helicarrier and the Quinjet in this. Like,
Yeah.
you see them for the first time, like the power of the helicarrier.
Yeah.
So you see that too. And when they capture Loki, you can see when they're all gathering how Loki's manipulation happens when Bruce touches the staff, and they're all arguing in that room.
Yeah.
It's just like Loki has a hold on them. He's like, I'm going to make these guys break apart. And that's when you have Tony fighting, Steve Rogers. Like they're having a clash in there.
Yeah, they're having this argument, and then you have Natasha like going in and trying to like figure out what Loki's actual play is, and she pretty much plays him, and it's fantastic and it's funny. And then she comes back and she's like, "Look, like you guys need to calm the F down. Like, like he's playing you all. He's trying to use Banner basically." And they're just too heavily in the argument, and basically everything falls apart at that moment. So
yeah, and then you have him, when they've captured him, and you have the whole thing with Hawkeye shooting the helicarrier, and you have that whole sequence where you see that Tony, they put all their beef aside in that little sequence when Loki was manipulating them. They put their beef aside, and they're like, they work as a team, which is really, really cool. I like how Tony Stark works with Captain Rogers. Like they're going to fix a helicarrier and keep it from crashing. So I thought that was really cool. Also the sequences, even when Thor is with Loki and they're talking about, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And all this other stuff. And then you have Agent Coulson, which is inspired by Captain America in his story. Like he has all his collector's cards. Like, from back in the day.
Coulson's really like his story is in this movie is sad to me, just because like he does make the sacrifice move, and like, you know, he does his duty. He stands and, you know, he tries to protect, and then he ultimately like ends up dying. But he goes out with a bang because he shoots Loki with the cannon with the gun.
Yeah, and he has that one line before he goes, oh, that's what it does.
But that's great. But I think that it's so it's precious, honestly, like, because he's such a big Captain America fanboy, and he's just constantly like, you know, hovering over Steve, just being like, just mesmerized at this idol that's come back from the grave, basically, that he has all these collection cards for. It's really good stuff. It's very, very touching. And it was very, very moving the first time that I watched this movie. I was definitely sad that this time, but like the very first time, I think I was shedding some tears. So, yeah. And then another great thing I want to talk about real quick before we get into our final reviews for this movie is the action in this movie is really great. It's pretty awesome, especially for comic book lovers and fans. Just when Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America are fighting in the woods, I think that's fantastic. I like how their powers kind of like clash with each other. I like that Captain America's shield bounces and it shows what vibranium shields do, and that is, you know, take the energy and reflect them back off of everything. So when Thor's like, you want me to put the hammer down? Like,
there's just so many cool sequences in this film. Like, even when Hulk is like down in that building, you see Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's a really cool scene.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of really awesome. The Battle of New York is crazy. There's so much going on, and I think it's done in such a magnificent way to capture and give every single superhero their screen time that they deserve. I think they pulled it off flawlessly, including heroes that you wouldn't think of, like Hawkeye. Like, it was great to see him in action, actually, and to see what he does. And I love the little quips, too, that Tony makes, especially when Cap's making the play. And he's like, you over there, you over there, you over there, you guys up top. And then Tony grabs Hawkeye from the back, and he's like, clinch up, Legolas. and then he flies up. And I think that was great. And like when Hawkeye like shoots the arrow at Loki, and Loki catches it, and then he's just like, really? And then it blows up. Like, clever.
I mean, even when you see Loki appear, like, you know, he's the god of mischief. So you see how he's presented, like, even the cinematography, like the way it was shot in the special effects. Like, remember when he comes in?
Yeah.
It's just cool.
No, he's great. He like phases. It's cool. And then you get also the buddy battle with Thor and Hulk, where they're on the giant whale alien thing, and they're just bashing and killing and stuff, and they end up in Grand Central Station, and then like Hulk punches him to the side. I think
even the one when they're on the Stark Tower, and he's like smashing Loki. And he's like, oh man, that was so good. And then Loki's just in the concrete. It's so good.
He walks away. He's like, puny god.
Yeah.
And it's good stuff, man. I really honestly forgot how great of a movie that was, especially because we watched it. Like I watched this movie right after I saw Madam Web, and I was like, I needed to cleanse my palate. So like, this was a great watch, an extra great watch after watching that movie. So, yeah. So I guess let's get into a final score for this movie. What would you rate this movie if you had to review it?
This movie was a really good movie, how they tied everything in. I'm going to give this movie a 5.
Nice.
I really like this movie. I really like the portrayal of this movie, like the pacing in this movie, the presentation, the story, how they tied everything in, how each character, you know, had an interaction with each character, how Loki manipulated them. Like, the story was good. The cinematography in this movie is great. All the shots in this movie are so good, especially with all the sequencing. So that's good. The music is good too.
I think the music's great. I think
yeah.
this is a fantastic score that's just like resonating in all of film history right now.
So other than that, for this being the first time we see all the Avengers together, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you completely. This is a 5 out of 5 movie. This is easily a fantastic, well put together superhero movie. This is everything that you could want from all of these characters all in one. Especially, this is just like the pinnacle. I don't think that it's the best Avengers movie, but I think that it's a damn perfect movie. So I really love this movie and everything about it, really. So
yeah, we forgot to mention Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. He was the director and wrote some of the movie, and I think that he did a fantastic job with these characters.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job. I mean, he's known for he's known for Firefly, that show. I don't know if you know that show, Firefly.
No, I do.
And he's also known for another show, The Nevers. He's done some other work too. So
yeah, he's done like Buffy and Angel and stuff. He's definitely been known. There's a lot of things about him that are great, and a couple of things about him that aren't so good behind the scenes. So, like he did a good job with the movie though. So, So now we're gonna do some trivia. Send this off with some trivia.
Got some trivia. We're gonna leave off our episode for Marvel Mondays for the Avengers with some trivia for Calvin. And I gotta find where I was last time. Okay, here we go.
Marvel movie trivia. Marvel movie trivia. Give me a good one.
Okay, here. I'm gonna oh well, that one's too easy, so I'm not giving you that one.
Well, give me whatever.
Okay. All right. In Captain America, the First Avenger, which was last week's Marvel Monday episode, in which country was the Tesseract found by Red Skull?
Oh, jeez.
What country?
I don't want to say it's not Germany. Belgium?
Nope.
Hungary.
Nope.
No. All right.
Norway.
No. Norway.
Norwegian.
Oh,
Slor. Come on.
I'm so dumb.
You're not dumb.
I was
sure
reaching. Man.
Here's another one for you. The next question for Calvin is, in which year does Steve Rogers turn into Captain America? In which year?
That's a good question too. 1940 1943.
That is correct, Calvin. 1943. He got that one.
Gotcha. Cool.
Okay. Who gave Loki his scepter?
Thanos.
The other.
Oh, it's Thanos' lackey. Whatever. Thanos was literally right there. He's literally right there in the chair.
What animal does Darren cross unsuccessfully in Shrink in the Ant-Man?
Unshrink?
And unsuccessfully shrink in Ant-Man. So unsuccessfully shrink in the Ant-Man.
The yellow jacket suit?
A sheep.
A sheep. Oh my God. I haven't seen Ant-Man in a good minute. Damn, I feel like I'm failing all of you Marvel fans out there. I call myself one of you. What for?
He's failed.
I'm failing hard.
He'll get some of these. I'm going to give him some that he definitely, most definitely know.
No, you don't ever go easy on me. I can't learn without.
Okay.
Cannot learn the facts that way.
All right. What was Stan Lee's cameo in Ant-Man?
I don't know. I I honestly don't know.
A bartender. You said not to go easy on you.
Well, no, I don't want you to go easy on me.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can find some ones that are pretty difficult here for him. Which planet does Peter Quill retrieve the orb containing the Power Stone from?
Don't know.
Morag.
I do know, but I don't. But I didn't know. Wow.
I know
Failing
Morag
hard.
from Marvel Snap. That's
Yeah.
that location you can't play unless you have two cards. You play it in the same turn. Moving on here with the next couple. How many do you want to do?
Let's just do one more.
One more? Okay. Okay. Let's find a good one for him.
Failing hard.
Finish the Red Skull quote from Captain America, the First Avenger. Arrogance may not be your unique American trait, but I must say blank.
I don't know.
You do it better than anyone.
Nice.
That was when he's fighting him at the end.
All right. So all I learned is I need to really pay attention.
He needs attention to detail, but I think he's getting a little attention to detail with rewatching these movies.
Well, exactly. So, but still, I know better. I know better.
Anyways,
yeah.
anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this week's Marvel Mondays, the Avengers Marvel trivia, and yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and we'll catch you next time.
We'll see you on the next Marvel Mondays episode. Take care, and we'll see you then.
Thank you all so much for tuning into the Calvin Cam podcast. We appreciate you all so very, very much. And, you know, if you like us, hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps us out, as well as you can go over to our social media platforms like Instagram or X and follow us over there. We like to communicate and build our community up, as well as you could also go to patreon.com/thecalvincam and join one of our 3 tiers that we offer. We offer a couple of different benefits per tier, and it's good stuff, and it would really, really help us, and we'd really appreciate it, of course. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you later.